You are listening to We Are the Compassionate Revolution. I'm your podcast host, therapist, author, boundaries guide, Molly Moon. If you are a compassionate person and you want to know your worth, set better boundaries, live from your truth, and operate in your fullness, then I am so glad you've joined us. You ready? Let's get started. Everyone wants to be at the part of the story where our life is changed, where we have become who we're here to be, and it feels amazing. There's peace and joy and love. But nobody really wants the painful, lonely, dark night of the soul that often comes first. And many times, this is because of how we've been taught to think. And that's what I want to help you reframe today. Because I want to give you hope and direction if this resonates, especially if you're in one of those really painful times right now. So in the last episode, I shared a song with you that I wrote in 2017. And after I recorded the episode, I thought, oh my goodness, I gotta tell you what happened to me after I wrote that song, just to encourage you, especially if you're in a season where you are going underground. If you didn't listen to the previous episode, I recommend doing it. But in a nutshell, I'm a big fan of standing up, of taking up space, of using one's voice, but it's also context-based. Because there are seasons where the action one is called to take is to rest, is to tuck in and stay out of harm's way. The song I shared last episode is about a rabbit burrowing down into the earth. And basically, if you're lunch to predators, it makes sense to go hide if your intuition is nudging you to do so. It's not weak, it's wise. Nobody gets helped if you get eaten for lunch. And that time of tucking in, burrowing down can end up being a very fertile time in ways you did not expect. Well, interestingly enough, shortly after I wrote that song, I was in a very difficult situation that basically required me to do exactly what the song was saying. I would have loved to take action. I wanted to so badly, and I'd grown enough in my own boundaries journey that I was more than willing to. But there were some big things outside of my control, so I could not. Not right away. There would be no justice. And I had to duck my head and get through it. And then at that same time, there were some really other painful and heartbreaking things happening because you know how when it rains, it pours. And I know almost all the listeners here have experienced some tough stuff. We compassionate people usually have. I am sure you have been through situations where there are factors beyond your control occurring. And maybe at the same time, tragedy or loss or trauma too, and you can't stop it. It's just what is happening in that season. And so it is what it is. At that time, I had to come to a resigned acceptance that, there are things I have the power to do something about, and there are other things I do not. It is what it is, Molly. So in that season, right around or right after I wrote that song, somewhere right in there, I did burrow down and I did my thing. I thought, well, this is my classroom right now. Though I was grumpy about that at first, actually, because injustice sucks. And I didn't want to learn anything from that situation. I wanted the situation to get resolved. And just having to get through it, I felt like this is an impossible situation. I can't do this. I felt that way for a while, just being honest here. But I shifted because I thought, well, apparently I can. apparently it is possible because I am doing it. So I reframed, accepted it, and said, okay, fine. Let me set my sight forward because there is an end here. It's a long road, but it's not forever. And in the meantime, what can I learn from this that will grow me, that will inform my life going forward, that will make me a better person in this world? For example, how do I walk in love in all of this? Can I even? Is it possible? If it is possible, what would it even look like? I literally do not know. But why not try? So during that unplanned, unwanted time, I ended up learning some massive lessons about things I thought I already knew. Because I was already teaching about boundaries at that time, and it was good stuff too. But this experience took me so much deeper, broke open my brain to open me up to whole new levels. And I learned some really powerful nuances about boundaries, about worth, about power and control, about functional and dysfunctional systems, and much of it ended up becoming, later, entire trainings inside of the Becoming Boundary Bootcamp, which was the boundaries program I'd go on to create later, but I did not know that then. In fact, if you would have told me what I'm doing now, I probably wouldn't have believed you. I didn't even know that was possible. After that period was over, looking back right now, I can see with the gorgeous eyeballs of hindsight, I can look over it and say, wow, that miserable period of time was actually life-changing. And there's this little hurt in my heart, actually, that I think I still have some wounds to heal from that, because my heart actually was like, in some ways, like, I can't even believe I'm saying that because it was such a miserable time. But it all combined to become an experience that tipped me over the edge from being someone who said, I wish someone would do something about stuff like this, to becoming someone who said, oh, I am going to do something about stuff like this. That quiet, dark, lonely time ended up being pivotal in moving me towards where I am now. And, of note, going rabbit on it, and what I mean by that is burrowing down, staying true to myself, but just getting through it instead of fighting it, like I talked about in that last episode. That was exactly what I was supposed to do in that season. That was the work. There is a term you may have heard before. It's called the dark night of the soul. It's a term we get from the Christian mystics. And the mystics noticed this pattern in the experience of many who would experience massive transformation. They were like, wait a minute, these people don't just float into transformation on a bubble of feel good. They first go through this really difficult time. And the idea is, during the dark night of the soul, it feels like you are abandoned. It feels like you are alone. It feels like all hope is lost. But in actuality, it is just a season that allows you to see and then release who you thought you were and how you thought things worked. Because as it turns out, that was keeping you from who you really are and how things really work. Indigenous teachers and shamans and earth-based belief systems all across the globe have taught this one way or another. Because this can happen in a really quiet, difficult way, or it can happen in a really loud, chaotic, dramatic one. I'm reminded here of Hawaiians who taught me that the volcano speaks this wisdom to us, holds this duality for us, where there is this destruction, yes, literally, all is lost, and that is a truth, and yet at the same time, the volcano creates, transforms. Like new land is birthed that later peoples will be able to move on to. The volcano brings new life. From a naturalist perspective, there are plants that evolved for northern climates that actually require winter in order for their seeds to sprout. I love this stuff. It's so cool. Gardeners call it cold stratification. You can look it up if you want to learn more about it. But there are these seeds that literally cannot germinate until they've been frozen and then thawed. So if you try to grow those plants from seed and you live in an area that doesn't really experience winter, you have to put those seeds in your freezer for a bit, or they will not sprout for you. And by the way, you have to put them in the freezer for not just a day, but for however long they need to freeze and basically die, quote, quote. But for them, being frozen for whatever amount of time they need, where it looks like all is lost. Being frozen and then thawed is their signal to come out of dormancy. Whew. You see the theme here, right? Now, whatever it is you're in, it might feel like a dark night of the soul. It might feel more like a volcano has gone off. Or maybe you feel like a seed in the winter. And if you didn't know any better, if you were to judge your growth based on only how things look at this moment, then you'd probably say either A, I'm not growing at all, nothing's happening right now, or B, I'm being destroyed, all is lost, there's no hope. When in reality, no, you're just being made ready for what life wants to usher you into. But it can get really easy in that moment to get incredibly discouraged or think that we must be doing something totally wrong. Sometimes we fight against being in this season because we've been taught to pathologize anything that isn't instant success or instant feel good. We haven't been taught what the process of transformation can look like, what's normal. We haven't been properly shown how, for those who seek to become who they truly are, there's a journey we go through, and some tough times are a really common part of the journey for many of us. I wish it wasn't that way. I thought a lot earlier in my life that, why couldn't I just have a happy, boring, simple story, the end? Why? Why does it have to be so hard? But then I wouldn't be here doing what I do. And I know that now. It was that very painful path combined with this inner knowing that there's something more than this. I know it. There's something more than this. It's not supposed to be this way. I'm here for something more than this. And I share this because I know so many of you have that same inner knowing. And it was being in those painful circumstances that made me hear that question so much louder and search and end up coming home to myself, which is such a beautiful, never-ending, unfolding process. Hey, my friends. I firmly believe that the common struggles we compassionate people face are often doorways, pointing us to the hidden beliefs that so many times keep us stuck. So if overgiving or people-pleasing or guilt around boundaries has been holding you back, I created something to help. It's called the Boundaries Breakthrough Mini Course, and right now, it's totally free. So if you feel the tug to grow in your boundaries journey, this is for you. You can start today at boundary.com/breakthrough. And if you're interested in coming to work with me more closely, the mini course is a wonderful way to dip your toe in the water, get some real help, and if you want to continue with me after that, then cool. I would love that. Boundary.com/breakthrough. It's really good stuff. Have fun. Side note, just in case you don't know me very well and you're like, are you glorifying trauma here, Molly? I want to say very clearly, This is all not said to glorify trauma or to justify it or to put a happy spin on bad things. Bad things are shitty. This is not said to say all bad things have happened on purpose in order to grow you. Because I don't know that. I do think sometimes bad stuff just happens. But here's what I find helpful. If you are here right now, and if you want to be or are on a transformational life path, then if you are in a difficult time, why not use it? What if it could be used? What if it could be a classroom for you? And if that speaks life to you, then go with it. Because why not? We have to go through the miserable thing anyways, right? Well, how about see what you can learn from it? Why not? And I find for myself, the seed metaphor is so helpful. Like a life-giving reframe during that dark, dark time when we're in the ground and it looks like a big bunch of nothing is happening, because a big bunch of nothing is happening to the eyeball if it looks at what's happening at that moment. Growth looks many different ways, my friend. If you're taking notes, write that down. Growth looks many different ways. Don't be fooled by how they tell you growth looks, because it's bullshit. Growth looks many different ways, and it is real and it is true that one of the ways growth looks is being a tiny little seed covered up in dirt and doing nothing. So-called nothing. So if you're an apple tree, stop judging yourself thinking that you should be producing apples if your current season has you being an apple seed in the dirt. The seed in the dirt is just as much the apple tree as the apple tree is when it's finally big and full and producing apples. And you don't get to the fruit part until you have completed the seed part. When we're in that seed in the dirt phase, I say, let's own it. I say, let's honor it. Let's stop letting them tell us what growth looks like, because it's not true. When you are pulled to go inward, that is your work. And you give us all the great gift when you do it. There are seasons to focus inward. There are seasons to move that inward growth into the outward world. We got to flow with the season we are in. And it's so interesting to me that it was after that painful season that I created my boundaries program. It's mind-blowing, really. But here's this boundaries class. I knew it had to be in the world. I knew it. And I finally realized, the reason I care so much about this is because it was given to me to do. I'm supposed to do this. Oops, I didn't know that. So I did it. And immediately it began changing lives, and it still does every single day. Because my heart poured into it the best of everything I've got, because I didn't do it to make a business. That was not my number one goal. I did it to change lives. So I poured into it all the stuff that totally changed my life. And that made it not just a boundaries class, but literally a path to personal transformation. It's mind-blowing. Stepping back, it makes so much sense. And now I've got an amazing little team that helps bring even more love into it. I started this by myself, and now I'm surrounded by these incredible people and the best clients in the world. No joke. I know I'm biased, but still, working with compassionate people is something else. So I'm getting off track. Since I shared the rabbit song, I wanted to share a song that I wrote coming out on the other side of the process. A long, long time ago, I used to be in a band. It was fun. We won't talk about that now, but I had to put music away, basically, and just get through. But I couldn't put music away all the way, right? So my songs for the last 20 years, and I've got piles of them, they're basically my personal journal entries, just written to me, for me, with me doing some bad guitar strumming to them, but the dates on them have a lot of significance to me, because they were written, each one often very much for a reason. So the Rabbit song I wrote in 2017, this song, the Song of the Seed, I wrote in 2020. And it's a meditation in some ways. It's a celebration. Though I cried when I wrote it, when I first sang it, actually. And for a while after that, every time I played it, I would just cry, but happy tears, like the sweetness of it, the truth of it. Anyways, this is a very simple recording. I only know enough about using GarageBand to know how to make an extra track or two so I can sing harmony along with myself, and that's it. I don't know what all those buttons do. So if you are a talented musician, don't judge. Just think of this more like someone opening a page of their personal diary and letting you read their scribbles. But I share this because if you are in a time of seed season, if that's where you're at right now, this is for you. I know it is a hard spot to be in. It's lonely. It's scary. It seriously feels like it will be forever. I want you to know you're not alone, but I also want you to know this is not the end. If you're taking notes, write that down. This is not the end. And it is safe to honor the season you are in. Being a seed is part of the work. And don't be surprised when what comes out of you later completely alters the course of your life. It's a dark, dark place down here within the ground, and I'm in a dark, dark place down here within the ground. I feel like I was made for something different. I'm here in a dark, dark place within the ground. But the rain drums patience, and the wind sings patience, and the earth murmurs patience. It's getting real cramped now, down here in the dark, dark, and I send out a root to drink in that sweet rain. I send out a shoot, uncurling, unfurling in the dark. I stretch out beyond all this quiet pain, and the sun feels real fine, and the wind sings it's finally time, and the earth holds me tight. The dark is just for the night. The dark is just for the night. And the rain sings love Thank you so much for being here with me on this episode today. Remember, love is the way. And you deserve that same love you so easily give to everyone else. My compassionate friend, I am so glad you're with us. We are the compassionate revolution. We are the change the world needs, and we're becoming it. If you loved this episode, please share it with a friend or give this podcast a 5-star review. I'd appreciate it so much. And if you'd like to get practical and work with me more closely on boundaries, you can come visit me at boundaried.com. That's boundaried.com for amazing resources. Because this is how we do it. One action at a time. We are moving into our power. And I'm so proud to be in this movement with you.